Hundreds of asylum seekers held in prison-like positions. There are approximately 280 asylum seekers in the two transit zones at the Hungarian-Serbian border. The majority of them are children. The special holding camps have been strongly criticized by the UN Special Rapporteur on the human rights of migrants.
60% of the persons who are in the transit zones are children. Let me say that for my mandate as Special Rapporteur on the human rights of migrants, the situation of migrant children is of utmost importance, and that, as I have repeatedly called many countries, children should not be placed in detention based on their migratory status.
The UN migration expert made the comments after visiting border transit zones where asylum seekers are being held in what we call very restrictive conditions. They are guarded by armed security personnel and their movement is strictly controlled. A pregnant woman was reported to be escorted by 17 guards to her medical checkup to a hospital nearby. Felipe González Morales said on Wednesday that Hungary should not allow security concerns to override the human rights of migrants and called on the country's authorities to stop politicizing migration, which has scapegoated migrants. Speaking to reporters at the end of an 8-day visit to Hungary, the UN Special Rapporteur also criticized Hungarian laws and government policies which greatly limit the access by civic groups to the border transit zones where asylum seekers await a decision on their asylum claims.
In 2015, at the peak of the migrant crisis, there were more than 175,000 registered asylum seekers here in Hungary. The last year their numbers were 671. Based on these numbers, the United Nations Special Rapporteur called the Hungarian government to reassess the declaration about a crisis on migration that led to a number of very restrictive measures on the rights of migrants and asylum seekers. Daniel Bozsik for Euronews, Budapest, Hungary.